Okay, hello everybody. Today's date is Thanksgiving Day 2015, and I am thankful that at this time in my life, I'm able to afford batteries for my camera. I have to check to make sure I accidentally didn't hit the record button to make this video, because it is my intention to continue to expose the criminal realities of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. Before I get into the subject matter of this video, I need to make a prediction, because predictions, video predictions, email predictions, predictions I make in tape recorders is my way to protect myself and to prove this criminal reality is happening to me, because if what I state on video, email files, or audio files come true, after the statements have been made, it'll show that I'm being covertly tracked, not only just along my routes, but at places I go to rest to be by myself at. So if anybody approaches me or this area within 300 feet of me, kids, teenagers, neighbors, adults, homeless people, social deviants, law enforcement, no matter what they say verbally, it will be gang stalking related. Now, hold on. I just got to eat my lunch, so I'm smoking my after lunch cigarette, so bear with me with that just for a second. And I need to blow my nose. Seems like every time hold on just 1 second. Seems like every time I'll just wait. Seems like every time I go to make a video, I try to be prepared before I start them. But, hold on. I'm fighting a small allergy problem. Okay, now, the reason why I'm making this particular video in reference to its subject matter is to talk to you once again about the sensitization methods that can be brought about against a organized stalking, gang stalking, targeted individual. Okay, so you can understand the hellacious, horrific aspects of just this aspect of this particular crime. Gang stalking is not stalking by gangs at all. In fact, the name of the crime was actually made the name of the crime by the perpetrators in order to mislead the public concerning what type of crime this is, and to make the targets extremely paranoid concerning well, when you hear the word gang, what do you think of? When you hear the word stalking, what do you think of? You put those two words together and it automatically induces fear. It automatically makes you think of gangs and stalking. Two names that are directly connected to crime. It was a psychological technique that they used. Hold on. I do apologize for smoking. Alright, so I'm going to talk to you right now about sensitization methods and gang stalking, so you can see what we got to experience, us targets. Now, go to YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids in order to be able to see a targeted individual in Santa Cruz, California, being gang stalked. He complains about how he is harassed along all of his routes, about how the perpetrators will even get on the roof of his home to make him paranoid about what's going on the roof of his home while he's in it. Okay, so you can see that this crime has been realized by the public, and this crime has also been covered on other news broadcasts in many different states, and because it's basically I'll talk about who manages this as I continue to talk, but this crime is going on in every state in the United States, every county, city, and town. Okay, this crime has also been covered on national alternative radio shows like Coast to Coast AM, Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis. It's been covered on YouTube broadcasts pertaining to people that had their own YouTube radio shows. So you can investigate my statements in reference to the descriptions of the techniques that I describe, cross-reference them to gang stalking, then in separate searches each description to organized stalking, and you will see that I'm telling you the truth pertaining to everything I state. I'm making this video to inform you about how us target individuals have to literally live on a daily basis, every day, day in and day out, week after week, month after month, and literally year after year. Literally. So, I'm going to take one more puff off the cigarette so I can just get that done and out of the way. I hate smoking on camera because, check this out, you know what they literally did? I went through hell getting dentures for my upper mouth. I had to go to the dentist, get the last couple teeth that were there pulled. I had to get the dentures fitted. I had to wait for them to come in. Then once they came in, they had to be fitted again. I went through months of trying to get all that done and completed. And once I got the dentures, within a week, they stole them. They stole them from a camping area in Michigan. That's right. Because they believe that if you can continue to affect the own target's body's image, pertaining to how the target sees himself in the mirror, then they believe that that will assist them in causing the target depression. And that statement that I just made is the literal truth. Literally. Hold on. And if you don't think that they don't go after the target's psychology, their personality, how the target views themselves in reference to how they even their own body image, even their own sexual identity, they literally prop people up around me to call me sir. Okay? They will literally call me names that have to do with nothing that I'm involved in, okay, at all, in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely. So I suggest you go to Google and type in slander campaigns and gang stalking. And see what comes up. See what targets are saying pertaining to the slanderous, vile names that they can be called to themselves. And, you know, like when they're out and about in the community, they'll say these words around them. And it's strongly suspected that these slander campaigns are also used in order to motivate just average community members to harass a target for the perpetrators based on lies. Go to YouTube and type in "listen to a stranger." Now I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes of this video right now. What are the sensitization techniques of organized stalking, gang stalking expeditions? Well, in order for me to flat out show you an example concerning what the sensitization techniques of gang stalking, organized stalking can be, in fact, so I don't have to repeat both names, I'll just say gang stalking, is that, think of it this way. Do you remember, like, when you first fell in love with somebody, your spouse, your first love? Okay, I'll give you two examples. And when you first fell in love and then you labeled a specific song your song, okay, like Evergreen by Barbra Streisand or Diana Ross, or whatever love song was attached to that intimate relationship. That song would become anchored in your mind to memories that you had with that person, because you might have even enjoyed that, you obviously enjoyed that song even with that person. Now what that is that is an anchored, classically conditioned, neurally classically conditioned mental association. Stay with me, because you'll see what I'm talking about, absolutely. Well, I'm sure you probably do now, but just stay with me. Now, another example of forming mental associations to anything, okay, is to look at how Vietnam vets and Iraqi war vets have come home as a result of being in these wars, and all the things that they experienced in these wars when they were in these wars, hearing gunshots being fired at, hearing things explode around them. Now, you take that vet from either one of those wars or both, two different vets, whatever, and you bring them back to the United States. And whenever they're walking down the road on their way to the grocery store, riding their bike, whatever, and they hear firecrackers go off. Well, where do you think that those firecrackers are going to remind that veteran of? When a car backfires or a truck backfires, what do you think that vet is automatically going to be brought back to mentally as a result of hearing firecrackers go off and trucks backfiring? They're going to mentally be brought back to what they experienced in these war theaters when they were over in these other countries dealing with being in a war. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions will intentionally, with complete, it's a bird, they will intentionally, with complete malice aforethought, intentionally create mental associations in a target's mind based on traumatic events that they do to a target. Now I'm going to give you some examples about how they do this. We all know that as human beings that we talk. We use language. We also will use specific physical gestures that everybody makes every day. Touching your nose, scratching your nose, putting your hand to your mouth like this, sitting like this at your computer or while you're sitting at your table talking to someone. Finger, the rest of the hand is to the mouth. Just bear with me and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, okay? You might do this to your hair to stroke your hair back. Okay, you might take off your hat, stroke your hair, put your hat back on. You might flap the back of your hair like this. Women do that. Okay, you might even sneeze, clear your throat in a specific way, cough. Let's see, what else do they do? Put their finger to their mouth. Okay, put their finger literally across their nose, which they've done to me. Okay, just hear me out. Trust me, this is not nonsense. You will be glad you watched this video. Now, they will also, so what these are specific physical gestures that everybody makes every day, whether they're consciously aware of it or not. Okay, now, there are also certain words and phrases that people say every day, like, oh my God, how could that have happened? Oh my God. Crazy, weird. If you see a specific person maybe walking down the road that definitely looks down and out, you might think to yourself, well, maybe that person is down and out because they're involved in some illegal activity, if you know what I mean, by the way they look, you know, thin as a rake. So you might use specific words or phrases to describe what kind of person that is. I think you know what I mean. Okay? Well, these are words and phrases that everyday citizens will say every day, or once a week, twice a day, once every 3 days, whatever. In organized stalking, gang stalking expeditions, what they will do is sensitize you to everyday physical gestures that everybody makes, and mostly to words and phrases that anybody might make on any given day. Now, why do they do this? Because as they perpetrate a physical assault, a rape, a gang rape, a robbery, or a combination of any of them, they will then, before and during the attack, and even right after it, while they're still in the physical presence of the target, say words and phrases and engage in physical gestures that we all say. Just bear with me. In other words, say if you're walking through a park, say if you're walking down a street, okay? Say if you're at a bus stop, somebody walks up to you, acts a little bit weird, okay, then walks up to you, starts messing with you verbally, and while they're doing it, they're saying, oh my God, bitch, or, you're acting weird, bitch, when you're really actually doing nothing wrong, and they're the ones who are literally starting something with you over bullshit. Like they might ask you for a light, or do you know what time it is, and you say no, and then they'll act like they don't know, they don't like the way you said no. These are the intentional, propped up, staged events of gang stalking. Just hear me out. Now, what they'll do is right before, during, and after the event, they will make the targeted individual feel intimidated physically, and this is done to make them immediately hypervigilant by acting intimidating and provocative to the target. This is done so the target will instinctively, their brain will instinctively see and hear what's going on, and the brain will then automatically get into an instinctive protection mode, fight or flight. Okay, but what they will probably do, since the event is designed to unfold really fast, is that they will just stand there and try and resolve the situation verbally, or will try to walk away. Because most of the time when this is happening to a target, they don't even know yet what's happening to them is gang stalking. Hold on. Now, the point I'm trying to make is this, is as the event is beginning, as it's transpiring, as the physical assault then takes place, and then as the physical assault is over with, and until those perpetrator or perpetrators leave that target's physical presence, certain specific physical gestures are set around the target, and specific words and phrases are. And this is done to form the mental associations of these words, phrases, and physical gestures to the traumatic event, so they can be binded together in the target's mind. Another thing that can be occurring as this is unfolding is police and fire truck sirens going off before, during, or right after the event, or all three. Now go to Google and type in police sirens and gang stalking, fire truck sirens and gang stalking, including fire department EMS and ambulance sirens. Just do it, and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. Okay? Because what does even just the average person think in their mind when they hear a siren go off, especially one in their immediate proximity? Something's going on. Okay, somewhere something's going on. Okay, so they want that siren to even be associated to the event. And the reason why they do that is because they know the person who is perpetrating all this from behind the scenes, the one that propped up the individuals to assault that person, knows that they are in control of the police and fire department. Which means that they know that that target will eventually become aware that fire department personnel and police personnel are involved in gang stalking. By intentionally propping up fire department personnel and police officers around them, including when they're called, either by the target or somebody else when another staged event occurs. That way, when the police arrive or the fire department or both, like fire department EMS, they will then engage in these physical gestures and or words or phrases repeated. Now, this is done to create another mental association. That way the target individual knows in their mind mentally that they're never going to be able to get any help because the police are involved. It's a clever way to form mental associations to this crime in order to put you in a victimized mindset. Now, just hear me out. Now, fellow American citizens, you can go to Google whenever you have the time, and you can even go to YouTube and type in sensitization methods of gang stalking. Okay? Name calling in gang stalking. Gang stalking sensitization methods repeating words and phrases. Gang stalking sensitization methods repeating physical gestures. They will even sensitize the targets to sounds, colors, physical gestures, words, phrases, and even types of people, like punks. You know, people that even act like punks. Okay, people that will even act like it and even possibly look like it concerning the type of attire they are wearing and the way they're wearing it. And I don't give two shits what anybody says about profiling people, because we've all been conditioned to have some type of stereotype of view pertaining to, well, all you got to do is turn on the TV and look at some of these TV shows. Look at how the gangster America is being promoted all throughout the United States on TV shows, MTV, and music videos. Yeah, baby, I want to be able to have 10 bitch hoes. I want to be able to have a nice car and a bankroll this fat. Yeah, baby. While they got the hood on, while they got the gold around their neck, while they got the pants hanging off their ass. Okay? And I don't give two shits about how anybody is perceiving this, because what I am saying is the truth. And I'm not saying that everybody that dresses this way are gangsters at all. What I'm saying is that the population has been programmed and conditioned because of these pictorial representations that we have viewed constantly over and over again, day after day, week after week, year after year, of this shit being seen on TV and YouTube. The way it's portrayed in music videos, movies. So we all know I'm telling the truth concerning this. Well, they also know that people think this way as well. Look at what happened with the Trayvon Martin and the George Zimmerman thing. That poor little young man got shot just because he was wearing a hoodie and black in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time. And I don't give two shits about what anybody says concerning that event. I could care less. The point being is that we have been conditioned, okay, to instinctively, when we see somebody with bagged out pants hanging off their ass, okay, walking like a punk, even tattoos and shit, they could be the nicest person in the world that's not a law-breaking citizen in any way. But we have been conditioned as a result of what we see on the news, music videos, and movies, and you know it. So the brain instinctively records that as well. So when you think about how they will even use people that fit these types of stereotype descriptions, while those people who are doing it are, when they're in the target's presence, are intentionally told to engage in these physical gestures and or repeat the words and phrases. This is done to literally anchor that visual representation pertaining to how the person looks to gang stalking. As a result, the target becomes sensitized to how certain people look. Do you understand? It's the same concept of when you got, say if you got a 30-year-old mother or a 30-year-old father. He's with his 9-10-year-old son in a Parks and Recreation playground, and a badass, dumbass cop comes, who's on a power trip, comes in and starts messing with you and or your kid. the father's first instinct is to kick in and say, well, I got to protect my kid. I got to protect myself from this because I don't know what could transpire because of it or what effects can happen if anything happens. That event will produce a mental association in that man's mind and in that child's mind to police. So every time they see a police officer, they're going to remember that event. And it's the same concept. Now, I don't usually talk like this with my hands, but I'm a little pissed off today. Now, fellow American citizens, why did I tell you all this? Because what they intentionally do is create post-traumatic stress. Now, you can go to Google right now or at any time and YouTube and type in gang stalking psychological operations and look at what comes up. Research it extensively and then cross-reference. Like you can go to Google and type in gang stalking psychological operations and sensitization methods. Sensitization is flat out based on the classical conditioning of it's an intentional psychological operation to classically condition the target to be sensitive to the stimuli that was presented as the traumatization was occurring. The physical gestures, the repeated words and phrases, sounds, even represented colors that the target's seen when the traumatic event was going on, like red, black, white. Okay, Google color harassment and gang stalking, and then the specific sounds that are done. Now, fellow American citizens, what I'm basically doing right now is literally telling you how this literally operates. It was intentionally designed for this purpose, to create post-traumatic stress by anchoring and associating things the sensitization methods that become then stimuli, so that when they are repeated day after day after day, the stimuli, which is the sensitization method, will stimulate the target's thinking based on how they know that what they're currently experiencing is because of the continued gang stalking. It's a clever way to prop up different people every day along the target's route, to mentally harass them about being a gang stalking victim by constantly reminding them that they are. Because they got to know where you're at and who you are to do it. Now, when you combine this with all the other things that the target is surviving as a result of being a target of this crime, being homeless, okay, being robbed, being arrested for camping, even though the gang stalking created the homelessness of you, you try to report it to the police 100 times, and they tell you no to your face each and every time, and even at times will threaten to put you in a psychiatric ward. Now go to Google and type in police and gang stalking. That's where the insurance fraud comes into play at. Okay? Absolutely. I'm going to prove to you I'm a victim of this crime in this video in a minute. Alright, now the power bar is flashing on this video camera, so if this video stops while I'm in the middle of talking, that's because the battery ran out. So just make sure you still research what I'm stating. They can make a targeted individual homeless easily. Go to Google and type in landlords and property owners and gang stalking. Postal workers and gang stalking, including United States Postal Service, UPS, FedEx, because these individuals who are steering the entire expedition are federal, state, county, and local city officials and law enforcement. It's a syndicate. It's a nationwide syndicate up and operating in every state, county, and city government in the United States. Absolutely. They are also connected to churches, charities, self-help groups, homeless shelters, social services, places where you would expect to be able to run to for help. DA's office and prosecutors and public defenders are also connected to these crime syndicates. Make no mistake about it, and I'll prove that to you in this video. Well, I'll attempt to, because I didn't exactly see what I got some YouTube videos here, but in order for me to show you the YouTube titles so you can go to them, I would have to focus the camera on it. Well, I didn't do that at the beginning of this video, so it will come out blurred. So what I'll do is tell you in fact, what I'll just do is I'll just tell you the name of a blog that holds hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos of me being harassed verbally in the same exact identical way everywhere I go, every single day. Go to Google and type in UCSD and Law Library are they networking gang stalking? I've been on national radio shows exposing that I'm a victim of this crime, even some exposing how I'm being harassed in San Diego. Well, like the 9/17/2013 Ground Zero show with Clyde Lewis. I literally called that show that night and descriptively described how I was being harassed at a previous hiking area off of Gilman Court and Gilman Drive, the wooded area that's over there in San Diego County, in La Jolla. Okay, well, I got it right now on hundreds of audio files of me being harassed in the way I was exposing I was being harassed on that radio show, since that radio show was broadcasted, and hundreds of audio files before. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but the only way that a person could be harassed verbally in the same exact identical way every day, everywhere I go, is they got to know where I'm at and who I am to do it. You understand? So, if this same exact identical verbal harassment that's been caught along all my routes every day for the last 2.5 years at least, of the 4 years that I've been here in San Diego, okay, do you really honestly think that it was coincidence for it to be experienced by me and caught on over 1,000 audio files? Absolutely. And I'm talking about multiple places in one day. The only way that could be achieved is through, but not limited to, the illegal GPS tracking of my own cell phone. I'm waiting for my phone to... I posted some massive evidence this morning on Twitter. That Twitter account, some copied and pasted tweet links are in that blog, so you'll be able to view what Twitter account is used, and as a result, you can choose to follow me on Twitter as well. But the point being is this: 1,000 audio files don't lie, and when you witness the hundreds of audio files that are in that blog, you'll absolutely conclude that I'm being gang stalked, and then you'll be able to say to yourself, well, it's obvious she's being gang stalked along all of her routes, just the evidence alone completely indisputably proves it. So do you really think that I'm not being gang stalked to areas where I gotta sleep at? Or other areas where I might go to rest at, or areas where I have to go to hide my sleeping bag? Now, why would they do that? To induce fear that I'm going to get caught camping and arrested or ticketed for it. So go to that blog and look at the evidence I caught concerning the San Diego Public Defender's Office and the prosecutors getting around me and repeating gang stalk, suck my dick, gang stalk, oh my god. Caught right open on audio. Now the same harassment was caught in Rose Canyon. It was also caught at Gilman Court and Gilman Drive, the wooded area. It's been caught along all my routes. So do you honestly believe that it's not happening where I currently, temporarily, I got 3 spots that I'm temporarily hiking at. It's already been experienced by me at 2 of them. By kids. They're probably not even at the college age yet. And 2 of them were wearing UCSD jerseys. Absolutely. So remember to go to Google and type in law enforcement and gang stalking. See, they use these idiots and homeless people in gang stalking, how they will literally use homeless men, okay, homeless women, neighbors, kids, teenagers, adults, senior citizens, even disabled people they will use. Absolutely. Okay, so I got stuff to do. So what I'm going to do, before I close down this video, like, put it to you this way. Say if somebody walked up to you and punched you in the face for whatever reason, okay? And then as it occurred, right before it happened, right as it happened, and after it happened, people were repeating, oh my god, and laughing. And then it happened to you again 2 weeks later. And then again 2 months later. Do you think that the word, oh my god, would become anchored in your mind to a traumatic event? Absolutely it would. And that's why they do what they do. They also make you nervous that you're going to get caught camping and be arrested as a result. I bought a little itty bitty small, it was about this big, small propane thing from the aisle in Walmart the last time I was there. Now, I bought those in the past at least 30 times. Every single time that I've used one, they've lasted at least 15 meals. Well, the one that I bought not even 2 weeks ago, I've only used 4 times. And when I went to go get it at a separate location today, it was empty. Now, why would they do that? because they know that on Thanksgiving Day the stores are closed and everybody's got to eat. So the target might think, well, maybe I'll just build a small itty-bitty campfire, and then boom, magically somebody says they smell smoke and call the cops. Now you can go to Google and you can type in how they will set up audio and video surveillance in your home, in your office where you work, in your car. How they will even use your own cell phone as a camera, a GPS tracker, and a microphone, including when the phone's off and the battery's out. So if I make a statement in my tape recorder, I'm getting ready to make something to eat, let's see if anybody comes here, they can hear it, prop somebody up, act like they smelled smoke, and boom. They can also have somebody act like they stumbled across my bike and report it. That way the police have normal appearing reasons to know where you're at, so they can give you a ticket and or arrest you for illegal lodging or illegal encroachment. These are the schemes of gang stalking, and they are how they work. So if you take the time to investigate slowly everything I stated in this video, cross-reference what comes up per description, you will see I'm telling you the truth in reference to how they operate. Do you hear these two men yell gang stalk, gang stalking, and gang of stalking, I'm gonna fuck you up? Remember in the beginning of this video how I told you they will call you names in order to attack your, who you are as a person, calling me a bitch, saying gang stalk as they're threatening to kick my ass? The double binding. The fear to the gang stalking to the threat. That happened on Thanksgiving Day in La Jolla, California, right up the street from one of my last hiking areas. One of the men that played a role in it was an individual that they had propped up to hike out 100 feet away from me as I was staying at that location. They are the ones that I discussed on the Ground Zero show on 9/17/2013. It happened on a sidewalk right across the street from it. It happened on Thanksgiving Day, after the show was broadcasted. Now, this is me being on a bus in Yucca Valley, California, 11 months before. Yucca Valley is 169 miles away from La Jolla, where the Thanksgiving event that you just heard occurred at. Do you hear a man say gang stalk, and then a woman just flat out says gang stalking, repeating words and phrases around your routes? They gotta know where you're at and who you are to do it. And this is the identical verbal harassment that's all over the blog that's been caught on 1,000 audio files. That's why I exposed it on Ground Zero, 9/17/13. That Ground Zero show link is in the blog. UCSD and Law Library, are they networking gang stalking? I've also been on other shows with Clyde Lewis. I like Clyde. Clyde's cool. Anyways, so check this out. I'm waiting for that. Okay, that was part of the Yucca Valley bus. Do you notice how they said, oh my God, and then gang stalk? Well, I just recently caught the San Diego prosecutors and public defenders repeating gang stalk, oh my God, gang stalk, suck my dick. Alright, now this is the actual Yucca Valley that I was going to play. It's going to take a second for it to come up. These are 15-second long Instagrams. And remember, if this video stops, it's because the battery ran out. So still investigate what I'm stating. Ah, shit. Alright, sorry about that. Hold on, see, I got four Yucca Valleys. This is the one where a woman just flat out openly says gang stalking. Hold on, let me get this video. Let me set up here. Now you heard gang stalk, oh my God, gang stalking, rape me. This is dark neurolinguistic programming technique being utilized around me on December 11th, 2012 in Yucca Valley. I'll play it again.
take my American flag out there.
Now, fellow American citizens, 1,000 audio files of the same exact identical to AT harassment. The only way they can be propping this up is through the illegal GPS tracking of me and covert physical surveillance. So do you honestly think that they're not staging events at my camping areas in order to have me arrested and ticketed for illegal lodging so the courts can be used to bring about additional effects? It's why they create the homelessness to begin with, to exploit it. Illegal syndicated probate control for federal, state, and local funds, insurance fraud, and human trafficking inside a syndicated run group home using the courts, San Diego, to do it. Okay, absolutely. Right now, an American Express gift card I'm still waiting for in the mail that was accidentally damaged by me when I opened it with a pair of scissors on the 14th of November. Why hasn't that come in the mail yet? Mail theft, the mail delayment of gang stalking. Is that the reason? $395. In order to attempt to human traffic an individual, you got to take away what they're using to stay independent. Do you understand? That's how they created the homelessness of me, by stealing my rent out of the mail that was mailed certified mail return receipt, the United States Postal Service, federal. You would not believe the crimes that have happened to me. You just would not believe it. So in closing, go to YouTube and type in similarities between human trafficking and gang stalking by complete strangers, people who I don't even know. Alright, I gotta go. I'm in San Diego, California. Today's date is Thanksgiving Day, 2015. And you better believe I am thankful that I got the video camera and the batteries to make this video, to inform, to expose the truth, so you can be aware of what's going on in each and every community in the United States. And I absolutely mean each and every one, because I know it through experience and extremely in-depth, educated knowledge that has come from research. I gotta go. I'm in San Diego, California. Thank you for listening, everybody, and have a great day.